What is money? In society, we have goods that we produce and that other people desire, that we desire. We trade those goods directly for other goods, and we trade those goods indirectly. We may trade indirectly for goods that we think has purchasing power. This means we expect to be able to trade them away. And this is why historically something like gold and silver has become a money, because of all the goods, it has the highest certainty that you can trade it away. And that's why it becomes a common medium of exchange. What is Bitcoin? The people who made Bitcoin have managed to make scarce items. But then the question, and with the goal that people start trading them and circulating them. But the problem is, how do you price in a Bitcoin? How do you determine what a value is of a Bitcoin? So you get a situation like this. Person A asks person B, who's trying to sell them, he asks, what are these good for? B says, someone else can buy them from you. And then A asks, what can they do with it? And then B says they can sell them. So a Bitcoin is not a consumption good. It's not a consumer good. It's not a producer good. Nobody can do anything with them except trade with them. So this means you cannot actually price in them, because you cannot compare. There's no market for it, right? For like a vegetable. People trade other things for vegetables because the vegetable may be more valuable to them than whatever they're giving up for it. So in the market, a price establishes for the vegetable. And then people are willing to you can price in terms of vegetables or in terms of anything that is a consumer good or a producer good. But Bitcoin is neither of those. Why is Bitcoin not an improvement on government money? People look at government money, US dollars or euros, and they realize that the government can just keep printing them. Also, dollars are not a commodity. They're not a good. You can't do anything with it. The only thing you can do with them is trade with them. So it appears on the surface that Bitcoin is an improvement over government money, because there's no one entity who can just create more for themselves and thus make other people worse off. But this is the thing about government money. It has the law behind it. This means a number of things. It's legal tender, and Hultzman has described this as worse than a monopoly. Why is that? Because you have to accept purchases in US dollars if you live in America. Even if you contract in apples or gold, the government, it will go to court, and the court will decide on an exchange ratio in US dollars. You have to accept in US dollars. Bitcoin obviously doesn't have this. Also, you pay taxes in dollars. This also raises the demand for dollars. These are the reasons why the dollar does not drop to absolute zero once they cut all the ties with redeemability. So neither is Bitcoin a good, so you cannot price in them, or is it a legal tender? So this means that the question of person A, what are these good for? And the person says someone else can buy them from you. It means it's pure speculation on people's gullibility. So someone only buys them in the hopes that in the future another person is willing to buy them for a higher price. And this is more like a pyramid scam. And you can compare this with me selling something that's also scarce, but is not actually valuable. For example, I could sell my my psychic powers. I could make a ticket. You get for a session of 10 minutes of my psychic powers, and you can ask me questions about the future, things that I, without my psychic powers, could not possibly know. So initially, this could be a hype. People think, wow, that's great. And people see other people buying them, so they think it has a value. But after time, people realize that I do not have any psychic powers. It's not a good that I am selling. It does nobody any good. Once people realize this, these tickets, the value goes to zero, even though what I am offering is scarce. I am the only person selling these things. They're only for me. You cannot duplicate me. There are other people, but I am scarce. So this is the same thing that's going on with Bitcoin. You cannot have a money for nothing, essentially. One thing people raise is they say, well, people earn bitcoins through mining. This is what it is, and how that works is if two people transfer bitcoins, there is a somebody can help in the process, because it has all kinds of encryption and you have to coordinate and so forth. And if you pay this person who helps you transfer it from the one to the other, you pay a small fee. So yes, their cost goes into it. But just because cost goes into it in the past does not mean it has value in the future. It looks it's like a labor theory of value. What we want from a good, if we trade them as an interim, temporarily for later, we want them to be valuable in the future, not in the past. And I'll play you a short clip at the end from the questions and answer session with Guido Hultsman from a lecture in 2005 about legal tender laws. And he says basically the same things, like how you can introduce some money and why does government money have any value at all. So yeah, do not buy bitcoins.